Hey y'all. So I wanted to share this revelation with you guys that the Lord had been sharing with me just recently, like for the past few days. So I was having a moment recently, like Saturday. Thank you, Holy Spirit. I was having a whole moment, like what felt to be, I'm called spade a spade, a meltdown. And I was crying, like venting to God how I felt. And the reason that I was crying, right? I want to back up a little. The Lord led me to the book of Job. So I'm like, okay, God, we're going to read, the book of Job. And I know, like, when a lot of people read the book of Job, they basically preach from the standpoint of be like Job, where though he slay me, yet shall I trust him. Like, he never cursed God and things like that. Stay with me, because the Lord gave me a different revelation about that entire chapter, the entire book of Job, rather. So, like I was saying, recently I had like an entire like meltdown. And in the middle of me like having this meltdown and expressing to God how I was feeling, he reminded me of Job. And so I'm like, okay. And the Lord said to me, he said, you're being exactly like him. So when we get to Job chapter 3, here's where things take a different turn. Yes, Job stood on not cursing God and standing firm for the Lord. However, in the 3rd chapter, Job begins to speak death, like over his life. Like, he begins to curse it, like a modern day like temper tantrum, what you would say, was what the Lord told me that I was doing when he referenced you're being like Job. And I was like, wow, okay. And not only that, thank you, Holy Spirit, the Lord took it a step further and he said, continue to read. I want you to read his responses, and I want you to compare it to your responses to me and the things that you've said. And as I begin to read from the 3rd chapter, I'm in about chapter 14 right now, Job was basically complaining to the Lord. He was self-righteous. He was entitled to know why it was that he was suffering the way that he was. He felt entitled, like he didn't do anything wrong. And I was like, wow, Lord, wow. And God said, thank you, Holy Spirit. The Lord said this to me just last night when I was